Because when it comes to commitment, it doesn't show up in flashes, it is present in your everyday life. Hello and welcome to the Davis Okelwo Show. My name is Davis Okelwo, and it is such a privilege to have you here today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening in wherever you are in the world. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about something that is very critical. This is January 2020, and the new year has just begun, the new decade has just begun, and it is a season where a lot of people are always talking about the concept and the issue of goals. Everybody talks about goals because it's the beginning of a new season and everyone is looking towards the end and the results that they want to accomplish at the end of the year. However, I'm not just going to be talking to you about how to set goals and all of that. There's a lot of information out there today that currently fulfills that purpose for you. On the contrary, what I like to do is to ask a simple question which will define your approach towards your goals this year, which ultimately will decide and determine whether you are going to accomplish those goals or you are not going to accomplish those goals. So, the central question for today's conversation is this: are you interested in achieving your goals, or are you committed to achieving your goals? Those are two different things with two different operating words. Are you interested in achieving your goals, or are you committed to achieving your goals? Some of you right now might be thinking, what's the difference, right? I want to achieve my goals. I want to achieve my goals. Whatever English word I use in the process doesn't matter much. It actually does. And if you listen very carefully to the questions, there are two varying operating words. The first is interested. The second is committed. Now, what is the difference between an interest, which is the source word for interested, and commitment, which is the source word for commitment, or for committed, I meant to say? When you're interested in a thing, you would like to see that thing happen with you. You would like to have that thing. So for instance, if you're interested in a particular car, you would like to get that car. You learn about that car, you put that car in a position where you put yourself in a position where you see that car, you visualize that car, and if the opportunity arises and you have the wherewithal to be able to procure that car, you will go ahead and purchase the vehicle because you have an interest in it. When somebody's talking about that car, you would like to jump into that conversation. So that's the thing about interest. There is something within you that connects with that thing that makes you want to have that thing that you're interested in. However, when you consider the definition of commitment is completely different. While interest focuses on something that you have a connection to, that you relate with in one way or the other, commitment focuses on something that you have made a conscious decision to pay attention to or to engage with. In the first instance, when we're talking about interest, we're focusing on something that appeals to you. That's one thing. On the other hand, when we're talking about commitment, we're talking about something that you have decided. And the first one, there is no conscious decision as such. It's just a natural feeling, a desire that you have. On the other hand, you have committed, you have placed a burden upon yourself. You have made a decision to go that route or to perform that set of actions. So there are two different things, especially when it comes to goal settings. See, at the end of the day, every one of us, every single human being on earth, we all want the good life. We all want to have the nice things of life. So everybody by default is interested in having great results, which ultimately is what we find when we examine everybody's goals, right? Your goals could be about money, it could be about relationship, it could be about family, it could be about business, it could be about your spirituality, it could be about anything. But ultimately, right, your goals are always a better state of where you are today. It's always an advanced level of where you think you are today. It's always an improvement on where you are today. So everybody by default, because we're just human beings, by default, we all are interested in the goals that we have set for ourselves. But the question is, are we truly committed? And I'm going to talk about 4 to 5 points that's going to help you really differentiate between the two and help you see yourself in the light of this conversation. I mean, it will help you ask yourself, am I truly committed to my goals, or I am interested in my goals? You see, the first thing about interest is interest comes in flashes, right? If you're interested in a thing, once you have decided in your heart, once you've gotten to that point where you tell yourself, yes, I am really interested in this thing and I like this thing, then what happens is you go about your normal life, and then every time you have an opportunity to interact with that thing, or any of your senses, any of your 5 senses comes into a state of interaction with that thing, what happens is that interest is reignited. You remember that, yes, I really like this thing. So I give you an example. I've always been a huge fan of the Range Rover Evoque. I love that vehicle. By the way, if you're thinking of buying me a vehicle for my birthday this year, a Range Rover Evoque would just be the right one. So here's the thing. I love the Range Rover Evoque, but right now I do not drive a Range Rover Evoque. I do not have one, right? I currently drive a Ford, which is an amazing car as well. By the way, my car's name is Arthur, if you don't know. Yeah, but every time I get on the road and I'm going about my business, I am not thinking about a Range Rover Evoque. However, if I'm on the road and an Evoque drives by, or I drive by an Evoque, I remember that, oh, there's an Evoque. I really love an Evoque. It's one of my best, cars. It's a car that I would like to buy really soon and all of that, right? And then I go about my normal day, right? Everything proceeds smoothly and regularly. And then until the next time that I'm going through the internet and then I see an Evoque, or I'm doing stuff on my phone and then I come across the video of the Evoque that I have saved on my phone, or the picture of it, or the picture of it on my vision board. So what I'm essentially trying to tell you is that until my senses come into direct interaction, either visual interaction, or maybe I heard about the Evoque, or I heard somebody say something about the Evoque, whatever form of interaction, until I come into direct interaction with that thing, my interest is not spiked. The interest is there. It lies low in my mind until there's something that spikes it up. So interest shows up in flashes. It comes in flashes in response to certain stimulus. And the stimulus is visual. You see it, you hear it, you engage with it. If it's something that you feel it. However, when you get to the realm of commitment, it is a completely different conversation, because when it comes to commitment, it doesn't show up in flashes. It is present in your everyday life. It is present in your daily conversations with yourself. It is present in your daily actions. It is present in your daily reactions. It is present in your habits. It is present in your daily life. Here's the thing. Your interest requires triggers. Your commitment do not require triggers, because I'm going to share with you some more things about commitment down the road that will help you understand this even better. When you get into the realm of commitment, because you have consciously made a decision to put yourself in that space and to do that thing repeatedly, time and time again, what happens is you find space within your 24 hours that you have in every day. You find a stable space for that thing that you have committed to. I'll give you an example. So say, for instance, I have committed to learning a new skills continuously in the year 2020. Let's assume that is a goal and an objective that I have, which I think is something remarkable that everyone should have as an objective. If that is my objective and I have committed to learning something new in the year 2020 continuously, then what I have to do is, for instance, in my morning routine, I have to create a time slot that I devote to consciously learning about a new skill. That time slot could be 10 minutes, it could be 30 minutes, it could be 1 hour. It doesn't matter. It depends on what works for me, and what works for me might differ from what works for you. However, what is important is that there is a stable time in my daily activity that I have to devote to making that thing happen. Why? Because I have committed to making it happen. You see, commitment is a very strong word. It means that I will do this thing regardless of what happens. For instance, when you're talking about interest, life can happen. Excuses, you have lots of excuses. Things will happen that will make you, skip over it. But when you get to the realm of commitment, you cannot allow excuses to come into the equation. Which brings me to the second thing that differentiates interest and commitment. You see, with interest, life will happen to you. If you're interested in achieving your goals, let me use one of the popular goals that people set at the beginning of the year. If you're interested in losing weight, let's say losing weight is one of your core goals for this year, right? And if what you have about your need to lose weight is an interest, you would begin the activity. It's the beginning of the year. Gym sign-up rates are always highest in January. And then you begin to do the work. And then there would be a certain day where you have to go to a vigil. Let's assume that you do your workout early in the morning. You go to the gym early in the morning. So there would be a particular day where you had to go to a vigil, and then you came back from the vigil very tired, and then you decided not to go to the gym. There would be another day where you had a very terrible cold over the course of the night, and then you will not go to the gym. There will be a day where there is a lot of work pressure and you have to work all through the night, and then you have to leave home super early so that you can get to the office, and you have to cut out some things which include your gym time. What I'm saying to you essentially is that life would happen. Things will happen in life that would seem excusable, right? So these things in life will seem excusable to you. You would see them as, oh, because I have to do this thing, then I don't have to go through the process of, working towards my goal today. Don't worry, tomorrow I will get back into the process. Life will happen to you. However, if you are committed to your goal, if what you have is not interest but commitment, life will not happen. You will happen to life. Right? If you're interested, life will happen to you. But if you're committed, you will happen to life. And what does it mean to happen to life? You see, life doesn't give us what we deserve. It gives us what we demand. Right? And there was something that I saw on Instagram yesterday. Vusi Thembekwayo posted something about, it's the beginning of the year. Vusi Thembekwayo, by the way, is an amazing global speaker that I adore and I really admire and I learned a lot from. And Vusi said, a lot of people start their year by praying with words. And he says he decides not to pray with words. He prays with work. And when I saw that quote, it really, really struck me deeply, because it is true. A lot of people talk a good game, whether they're talking to God or to themselves. They talk a good game. But if you pray in your works, then you are more likely to accomplish those goals. And when you work on a daily basis towards something that you want from life, then that thing has a way higher likelihood of happening and of coming to pass compared to something that you're just interested in. So if you have that commitment, every single day you would get up in spite of the odds and execute on your goals. And as you do that, life will open up to you, right? As you execute on your goals on a daily basis, it's not going to be a question of, today there's a chunk of work that I have to do. You are going to tell you, if you're interested, you say, today I have a chunk of work to do, and so I am not going to go to the gym today, using that example. However, if you are happening to life, if you're staying committed to your goals, what you're going to say is, I have a chunk of work to do today, and because of that, I have to ensure that I am in the best shape of my life, and I do the things that I have to do today so that I keep my integrity to myself and remind myself and give myself that mental permission that I am a trustworthy person, I am a person of integrity, and I keep my commitments that I've made to myself. So if I keep the commitment that I've made to myself that I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to go to the gym every day, then I am definitely sure that the commitments that I have in terms of the work that I have to accomplish today, I definitely will keep. You see how the psychology works, right? So if you are interested in your goals, life will happen to you. You will make excuses. However, if you're committed to your goals, you will happen to life and excuses will fly out of the window, right? And a quick one as well. You could take this as number 3. If you're interested in your goals, you will start. Like I referenced earlier, a lot of people start their journey to lose weight in January. They do a lot of gym sign-ups and stuff. And midway into the year, in fact, midway into the first quarter, a lot of people have already dropped out. So if you're interested in your goals, you're way more likely to start, right? If you're interested in buying that car, you're going to get a picture of it and put it on your vision board, right? If you're interested in building a house, you're going to, go to that neighborhood or, and visualize and all of those things. However, if you're committed to doing it, you're going to do that visualization on a daily basis. You're not just going to have the picture on your vision board, you're going to work at it on a daily basis, and you're going to keep executing until you accomplish. If you're interested, you will start, but not accomplish. Most likely. If you're committed, you will start and you will accomplish. That is a key differentiator between being interested in your goals and being committed to your goals. Now, another critical factor, which is number 4, right, that differentiates these two things is that when you're interested in a thing, you will take occasional action. You would have occasional bursts of inspiration, right? You go to that seminar and that amazing speaker is speaking and is reminding you that you need to take your life into your own hands, and then you remember, oh, that's true, I had this goal at the beginning of this year that I stopped working on, I need to get back to it, and you begin to work on it, and then 2 days, 3 days, that fizzles out, you go back into your normal life, and then everything goes back to square one. Right? However, if you're committed to your goals, you're not just going to have occasional bursts of inspiration. You're going to have daily actions. Daily actions. One of the things that I came across at the end of last year, right, was this question. I can't remember why I came across it, but then ever since I've tried to ask myself that question every single day, right? Every time you are about to go to bed at night, ask yourself, have I become wealthier today or have I become poorer today? Ask yourself that question. Have I become wealthier today or have I become poorer today? And if you think through the actions that you've taken over the course of the day and you look at the things that have happened, right, you can easily decide whether you've become wealthier or you've become poorer. I tell you what I mean by that. You see, the metric for determining whether you have become wealthier is your creation quotient. That is your ability to create, the frequency at which you create. So for instance, when you give yourself to the process of working or delivering value to people in whatever it is that you choose to do in your life, you are in the creation quotient. You're in that life where, that stage of life, that portion of your days when you are producing, you're productive, right? So you are either in that creation quotient or you are in the consumption quotient. If you look at your 24 hours and you ask yourself, you take the 24 hours, you break it down into hours, and then you look through, for each hour of the day, was I consuming content or was I creating content? Was I consuming other people's work or was I creating, my own work, right? So for instance, if you're watching my video right now, you are consuming work, right? If you are creating a video that you want to post online, you are creating. So creating a video will put you in your creating quotient. If you are watching my video, it will put you in your consumption quotient. Now, the reason why this is very important is because for a lot of us, right, because we tend to, for instance, commit part of our days to reading, which is trying to improve ourselves, many times we think that is a very good, way to use our time. And I'm not saying it's a bad way to use your time, but when you evaluate it based on the black or white variable of, am I wealthier today or am I poorer today? It all boils down to creating and consuming. Coming back to the issue of reading, you see, no matter the number of books you read, no matter the amount of videos that you watch, and I'm grateful that you're watching my video, it's a really good thing, but no matter the amount of video that you watch from me or from other thought leaders, if you do not take action on the things you've heard me say in the video, or the things you've read in the book that you have read, then you are not any better in terms of wealth, right? You might argue the fact that, yes, I am wealthier knowledge-wise, but knowledge that is not translated into action cannot be translated into actual wealth, right? It's like you have wealth in the cloud, but you have not translated that wealth into reality. That's essentially what is happening. So my challenge to you is every single day you have to ask yourself, am I richer today? Am I wealthier today? Or am I poorer today? And how do you measure it? How much have I created today versus how much have I consumed today? If more of your day was spent on consuming on a consistent basis, then you're getting poorer by the day. If more of your day is spent on creating on a consistent basis, then you're getting wealthier by the day. So the fourth difference, just so I sum up, the fourth difference between interest and commitment concerning your goals is, for interest, you have occasional bursts of inspiration and occasional bursts of action. For commitment, even when you are not inspired, because you have made a conscious habit of taking action on a daily basis, you work upon those things regardless. And it's not occasional, it is daily and it is consistent. And the last but not the least thing is, when you're interested in something, you find opportunities to execute, right? When you're interested in something, if you heard the bell, there's a school close to my house, and I think they're just about to begin their assembly, right? So that's a call to action, and I'm giving you a call to action right now as well, right? If you're interested in accomplishing your goals, what I know that you will do is that you will find opportunities to, take action or to engage with things that put you in the right frame of mind for that goal, right? However, if you're committed, you will not find opportunities, you would create opportunities. See, let me give you the simplest example that illustrates what I have just said to you. If you are interested in your goals, you would find time within your day. Remember, I said if you're interested, you'll find opportunities. If you're interested in achieving your goals, you would find time in your daily life, right, to execute on those goals. Meaning that you will find, and then as you're looking for it, as you'll find in this instance, is the action word, not the end result, not the accomplishment, but the action, trying to find something, right? You're going to look for a way in a spot in your day to fit in, the action that will lead towards the achievement of your goals. Sometimes you would find the spot, sometimes you will not. However, if you're committed to accomplishing your goals, you would not find time, you would create time. Meaning that you would take your 24 hours and say to your 24 hours, I know I've got a lot to do with this 24 hours, and sometimes it doesn't seem enough. And it is because of that I know that I have to do certain things that would advance my goals. So this particular time in every single 24 hours that I have this year is going to be devoted to this particular action, right? This particular time is going to be devoted to this particular action. What you've done is you have blocked out a portion of your time to devote to a particular course of action that will get you to your goals. Now, I can guarantee you that if your approach to your goal setting this year is commitment, that is, if you're committed to accomplishing your goals, what will happen is that at the end of the year, you will have a list of goals that you have accomplished and even more. However, if you are interested and you just go by the characteristics of being interested in accomplishing your goals, at the end of the year, you will have achieved maybe one or two, that did not require that consistency and that discipline. And then you have the rest of your goals unaccomplished, and then you carry them over as goals for next year. So my challenge to you is, when it comes to goals for this year, for this decade, focus on being committed. Make a commitment to yourself. And one of the best ways that you can do that is to ensure that you formulate a morning habit. Why do I say this? A lot of people talk about morning habits, and let me just bring a different dynamic perspective to it. You see, in your 24 hours, right, there are active times and there are inactive times. The active times are the waking hours, the daylight time, the daylight hours, when a lot of people, just like you and I, are trying to get things done. And in this day and age, this day and age where, in this day and age where a lot of our work has to be put out there and there's a lot of information that is coming across, distractions are very easy to come by. Every second of the day, somebody is trying to get your attention. every single second of the day. So even when you're trying to work on the things that are most important to you, many times it is difficult for you to shut out that attention. And probably in another video, I'm going to talk to you about some simple tricks and habits and tips that you could use to block off, unwanted attention and focus on the things that matter to you. But a lot of people are trying to get your attention. Sometimes you'll be successful in evading the temptation to pay attention to them, and sometimes you will not be so successful. However, in the inactive times of the day, right, that is time when people are shutting down already, time when people are sleeping, or whatever time works for you, right? But generally, the inactive times, the night time, anytime from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., that time period, every other person, 95% of the population, they are getting into their decline. They're getting into that mode where they are resting, they are relaxing, they are taking time away from their work, right? They've tried to work during the day and now they've stopped. Now, it is this time when there can almost be no distraction if you play your cards right, that you then carve out. It's a 12-hour period, by the way. So you find whatever time you want to use to sleep in there, and then you find a sequence of time. Let it be a stretch of time where you devote to the things that matter the most, which also should include the actions that you need to take in order to accomplish your goals. That was one of my biggest victories in 2019. I was able to finally, after many years of trying, come up with a system that works in terms of, that personal morning habit, right? I was able to create a time in the morning where I wake up and then a sequence of activities. My sequence of activities includes quite a number of things. It includes praying, it includes gratitude, it includes exercise, it includes visualization, it includes learning, and it includes creating, right? So it's an amazing combination that really works for me. You really need to find, that mix. And then if you'd like me to make a video on, how I was able to accomplish that, or how you can actually formulate and stick to a morning habit, please put in the comment section below, and or just comment on this show, on this podcast, whether you're listening as audio or you're watching as video. Please put a comment somewhere and then tell me what you'd like me to do in the next video, and then I will ensure that I create that content that is custom made for you. So in summary, my question to you today is, are you interested in accomplishing your goals for 2020, or are you committed to accomplishing them? And one of the key questions that came up in the course of this podcast is that you ask yourself the question every day: are you wealthier by virtue of what you've done over the course of the day, or are you poorer by virtue of what you've done? If you have created more than you have consumed, then you're wealthier. If you have consumed more than you have created, then you are not so much wealthier. In actual fact, you most likely are poorer. So ensure that you make the right decisions today, and let me know what you think. Thank you very much for engaging with my content. If you love the video, if you love the audio, if you love the podcast, if you love the video, please ensure that you subscribe. Find the subscribe button, wherever it is around your device, and subscribe. And please, it will really mean a lot to me if you share this content with other people that might also benefit from this birdie of work. I hope to bring a lot of great content your way in the year 2020, and I hope that you're going to stay with me through the process, learning, and as you're learning, executing. If you do not know me yet, my name is Davis Okeowo, and I'm a Nigerian-based entrepreneur, and I help a lot of entrepreneurs, in their business. I run a firm called Enterprise, where we do accounting, taxes, and strategy for businesses, and there are quite a number of other things that I work on, quite a number of other organizations that I am a part of. But mostly, one of the things that I enjoy doing the most in this life is developing content, creating content, and sharing insights and information that will help grow you and grow your business. And that is essentially what I do. You're welcome to ask me any questions you might have. Follow me on Instagram at Davis Okeowo, on LinkedIn at Davis Okeowo, on YouTube and Twitter. Those are the 4 places that I'm most active on. And let's engage, let's create, and let's do more. Remember, doing makes the difference. Peace out.